Hi everyone, it's Miss Sarah from the North Syracuse Library, and I'm here to do another story time. So let's get started with our hello song. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today? I am fine, I hope you are too. I am fine, I hope you are too. I am fine, I hope you are too. I hope you're fine today. I'm clapping my hands, you do it too. I'm clapping my hands, you do it too. I'm clapping my hands, you do it too. Clap your hands with me. Yay! And let's see, tonight we are reading a classic, Where the Wild Things Are. And this special medal here, it's called the Caldecott Medal, and that means it won an award for best illustrations. And an illustration is a drawing. So make sure you're paying special attention to these drawings, and we'll see what you think. That night, Max wore his wolf suit, and he made mischief of one kind. Uh-oh, so look at what he's doing. He's using a hammer. You shouldn't be using hammers. Mischief of one kind and another. Oh no, so he's being mean to that poor dog. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. Oh, so he doesn't look too happy, does he? That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. Wait a second, a forest? They don't grow in rooms, do they? And grew. Oh, so look now, there's more of a forest. Doesn't even look like a bedroom, does it? And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the wall became the world all around. That actually looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Max seems to like it. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. So there he is in his boat, and the boat even says Max on it. It sailed in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. So, wow, he sailed a long time in that tiny boat. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Ooh, there they are. See, is Max going to be scared? Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. Oh, so they're afraid of him. Max isn't afraid. They made him king of all the wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. Ooh, a wild rumpus? What are they going to do? Oh, so let's see. Here they're howling up at the moon and dancing. Oh, and now they're climbing trees. Does anyone watching like to climb trees? And it looks like they're having a parade. That looks fun. Parade of the Wild Things. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then, all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. Oh, see, and he does look kind of sad. I bet he misses his family. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. So tried to get him to stop, but he didn't want to go. And sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day. Oh, so yeah, remember in the beginning how long it took him to get to where the wild things are? And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. Aw, so see, his mommy did leave him supper after all. Aww. And it was still hot. There's no pictures on that page. So what did you think of this story? I'm going to get a really good picture of those wild things. And in the comment, I want you to tell me which one is your favorite. I remember in elementary school, I loved this book. And the librarian, Sister Leonelda, had all these dolls of the wild things. And if we were good, we each got to take turns holding one of them. So I remember I'd always sit up straight and be very good so I could hold one of the wild things. And I remember my favorite one was this one with the red hair. So, which one do you like best? Let me know in the comments. And so, before I sign off, I want to do a song with you. And we're going to sing If You're Wild and You Know It. That should be fun. If you're wild and you know it, clap your hands. If you're wild and you know it, clap your hands. If you're wild and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're wild and you know it, clap your hands. If you're wild and you know it, pat your head. If you're wild and you know it, pat your head. If you're wild and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're wild and you know it, pat your head. If you're wild and you know it, wiggle your ears. If you're wild and you know it, wiggle your ears. If you're wild and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're wild and you know it, wiggle your ears. If you're wild and you know it, touch your nose. If you're wild and you know it, touch your nose. If you're wild and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're wild and you know it, touch your nose. If you're wild and you know it, wave your hands. If you're wild and you know it, wave your hands. If you're wild and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're wild and you know it, wave your hands. If you're wild and you know it, shout I am. I am! If you're wild and you know it, shout I am. I am! If you're wild and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're wild and you know it, shout I am. I am! Yay! I hope you enjoyed tonight's story time. As I said, that's one of my favorite books, so I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. So, hope everyone's staying safe and healthy. Bye-bye.